And I'm here from the Walzer Automotive Group, and what I want to do today is compare a couple of SUVs. Now on the one side we have the 26 Honda Passport, and on the other side we have the 2025 Mazda CX-70. We'll look at the interiors, exteriors, some of the trim level specifics, and then see which one might just be perfect for you. Let's begin by looking at the 2025 Mazda CX-70. Now there is a lot of different trim levels and options, so it can get a little confusing when looking at the CX-70, but this one that we brought here today is the 3.3 Turbo Premium Plus. So there is a handful of different trim levels and there's a couple different engine options. Not to mention there's also a PHEV version or a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. So if you're looking for the best possible fuel economy, that would be the one to consider there. Now this particular one, like I said, has 280 horsepower from its 3.3 liter inline turbo 6. Now it's a very smooth engine out on the road. We actually did a driving review, so I can link that down below, but just know there's a lot of comfort and luxury, and that's really something that Mazda stands on. Now this particular one is going to get a power liftgate out back, and the big difference between the 70 and the 90 is that this one doesn't have a third row. The 70 instead, when you fold that second row down or from the rear of the vehicle, you get a large storage capacity underneath where that third row might have previously been. Now this particular one does get a lot of pretty cool options. Most of the goodies are going to be on the inside, but this one in the white with the blacked out wheels, this one will get an on-road Falcon tire, but it's going to be a little bit more on-road focused than maybe the Passport that we have here today. Now, depending on which trim level you're looking at, the grills can change a little bit, or the 70 to the 90, you're going to notice different vents on the exterior of the vehicle. So we won't get too much into the specifics on that, but just know there is some changes to be had there. Now, one important note to make is that all Mazda SUVs come standard with all-wheel drive. It doesn't matter which one of the SUVs you're looking at, it's only going to be in the all-wheel drive, and fuel economy-wise for this particular model, you're looking at about 23 city and about 28 on the highway. So a little bit of an advantage here, and again, that PHEV or the plug-in hybrid is even going to get better mileage from there. Now, well, there's a lot of pretty cool stuff in different trims and a lot of great features on the interior. Before we hop in there, let's jump over to the Passport. We'll check out that exterior. Now this is the 2026 Honda Passport, so obviously this one did get a refresh for the 26 model year, and there's some pretty cool equipment and style on this vehicle. Now the big thing, like I said, up front you're going to notice Honda's kind of new design language that runs through this vehicle. It will be found further into the lineup as we move forward, but the Passport was the first one to kind of achieve this new style. Now it does come in kind of two main trim levels, the RTL, which is going to be a little bit more on-road focused, and then this one is going to be the top tier trim level. This is going to be the Trail Sport Elite. So there's a lot of really cool stuff on the exterior. Like I said, this one's a little bit more off-road focused. So up front, you're going to get those cool orange tow hooks. There is a little bit of skid plating underneath as well. So if you do plan on hitting the cabin, maybe the trails, doing a little off-roading, this would be the one for you. Now, one other big key thing here is going to be the 18-inch wheels, and these are going to have the General Grabber AT, which is an off-road focused tire. Now, the Passport does keep the 3.5 liter V6, and that's going to be a little bit of a bump this year to 285 horsepower, and they've gone away with the old transmission, and now it's replaced with the really smooth 10-speed automatic. So fuel economy is going to be a couple mpg higher on the RTL, but with the Trail Sport, you're looking at about 18 in the city and only about 23 on the highway. So it's definitely a win there for the Mazda. Now this is the only engine and transmission offered, like I said, where the CX-70 does have a different range that you could choose from. But this particular one does also get the power liftgate, and in the back, it's also got those 60/40 split rear seats. There is a little bit of underfloor storage similar to the 70, but one thing that's pretty cool, you can pick up the whole thing and see the spare tire, or on the left side, there's also a nice deep storage cubby there. There's also some cool storage on both sides of the vehicle. This one doesn't get the power folding seats like you would find in the 70, where those are just a button. This one's got a little handle you go around and pull. But both of them do get kind of standard household outlet plugs in the back. So if you're on the campsite, maybe you just need a little bit of a charge up, that is a pretty convenient feature these both offer. Now again, while styling is pretty cool on both of these vehicles, both do come with the roof rack rails, so you can throw the crossbars up above. Like I said, maybe you're going to the cabin, into the mountain biking or outdoor activities. Both of these vehicles can get it done, but the Passport's gonna be a little bit more focused on that lifestyle. But for now, let's hop back over to the CX-70, we'll check out the second row. All right, so in the second row of the CX-70, you immediately notice I'm 6'1", so where I was driving the vehicle comfortably, I have lots of knee space, and I get a ton of headroom back here. One other cool thing, this one gets the full panoramic sunroof. So especially with the dark interior, it opens it up. If you got the kiddos back here, that is a pretty cool feature that's offered on this Turbo Premium Plus. Now, speaking of the kiddos, this is kind of a weird thing, but the doors pretty much open at a straight 90 degrees. So if you've ever loaded the kids in the car seat, trying to get some stuff in or out of the back, that feature is a very convenient and one of the most underrated things about this vehicle. Now, if you got the kids in here, again, there is USB-C charging back here. This particular one also gets another zone climate control back here and heated seats for both passengers in the rear and some pretty nice features up front. One other thing that's pretty cool, the handle on the side here, you can see you can kind of pull it. I can recline, I can pull the seat forward. They also slide. So if you want to move the seat forward or back, you can simply pull that handle, slide them forward and back that way. And there is going to be sunshades found in both of these vehicles as well. Now there's plenty of cup holders. You've also got the armrest that you can flip down with cup holders. But I mean, really, it's a pretty luxurious place to be. This one does scream luxury a little bit more than the Passport, whether it's the stitching or the materials used in here. It just feels a little bit more high quality. But let's jump over to the Passport. We'll check out that second row. Okay, in the second row of the Passport, again, pretty good. This is where I was driving, 6'1", I've got knee space in here, and I do have pretty much the same amount of headroom. Now this one also gets that dual pane sunroof up above. It's really great. It is one of those features, once you have it, I think it'd be really hard to give it up, but it does lighten up these darker interior options, so I do like that. Now you're gonna find a lot of similarities back here. USB-C charging, heated seats, as well as that third zone climate control, so everybody in the back can be comfortable. Now this one also gets the AC or the household plug in the second row here, which I do also really like. Now, same difference. You're gonna have sunshades. This one gets the orange stitching with the black that runs through on kind of this leather appointed interior. Now you can also recline these seats, so just a little handle just behind your shoulder, but this particular second row doesn't slide. This is gonna just be the fixed second row here. So there is a lot of similarities. Like I said, the Mazda feels a little bit more upscale and luxury. This feels a little more kind of day-to-day, rugged and tough, definitely more built for kind of that off-road. Feels like it would wear very nicely. I love these just kind of even little pockets up here for your cell phone. Lots of cool stuff back here. But let's jump back over to the CX-70. We'll check out the driver's seat. All right, so now behind the wheel of the CX-70, there's a lot of pretty cool stuff in here. We gotta start, we've always got our cell phone with us, and this one is gonna have wireless charging down here. We've got wireless Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto. So it is a touch screen, so you can slide through here, or you've got the little controller down below, so you can simply kind of scroll through your icons. There's a couple of quick buttons you can hit here. That is pretty convenient, and they've also left a volume knob down here. So if the passenger wants to change the volume, or you've obviously still got it up here on the steering wheel. Now this is going to be a Nappa leather seat. You immediately notice, you can almost kind of smell it even when you hop in the vehicle. These are going to be heated, they're going to be ventilated, and we've got a leather wrapped heated steering wheel in here. So all those buttons are controlled right here. The driver's seat's going to be power, lumbar, and it's also got memory seating. So if you got a couple drivers, that makes it pretty convenient there as well. Now this one gets a full digital gauge cluster here. So there's not a lot going on. It's pretty much just your pertinent information you can find through there. There's a little info button on the side. You can see your eye active sense. So that's gonna be a lot of Mazda's safety features. You can monitor that. There's a ton of safety built into these vehicles. So you can actually go through the settings if you want, and you can look through all that. But it would take you almost an entire video just to cover some of the safety. But the big highlights, obviously emergency braking with pedestrian detection, blind spot monitoring. There's an adaptive cruise control system with a lane kind of mitigation system as well. There's so much good stuff. Obviously, if you and your family in the vehicle, you want to be safe, and the Mazda CX-70 definitely has some of the best safety out. Now, like I said, I love this steering wheel. The heated steering wheel makes such a big difference when it's a little chilly out. Hit the heated seats in the steering wheel. This one also gets paddle shifters behind, and then just kind of your standard buttons. One thing that's really nice with the voice control, if you press and hold, you can actually use Siri on here. And there's also Amazon Alexa built into these systems now, which makes it really convenient to just keep kind of all your paired devices together, or some of your cool equipment, different features you can use through there. That is pretty sweet. Now, just the layout of the interior. I mean, even the vents with some of the kind of bronze or gold and then the gold accents that run through the vehicle, it's all really nice. It does feel like a high-end German SUV. If you covered the Mazda badge, you would probably guess you were in a BMW, but there's just a lot of really good stuff in here. Whether it's the equipment, the technology, the Bose sound system makes a huge difference from just kind of day-to-day use. And I love all the tech, safety, and comfort that you really do get out of these vehicles. So if you're looking at the CX-70, MSRP wise, they go from about the $41,000 price range up to about $57,000 or $58,000. This particular one falls right around that $51,000 price range. So there's a lot of great equipment for the money. The average new car price is about $49,000. This one falls in just a little bit more, but I mean, you're getting stuff like the Napa leather, the panoramic roof, wireless CarPlay, and all the safety and tech in here. There's a lot to like out of this Mazda CX-70. But for now, let's jump over to the Passport. We'll check that one out. Okay, so now behind the wheel of the Passport, let's start again with our phone. Wireless charging down here, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now you are going to find a lot of similarities between these two vehicles, and that isn't by mistake. Now this 12.3 infotainment display is lightning fast. I think I almost prefer this one a little bit more when comparing it to the Mazda. It works seamlessly. It has a very satisfying click. You can kind of hear as well when you skip between a few things, but wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Amazon Alexa, the Google Play Store is built into here so you can download different apps. There's a ton of really cool stuff that you can do in this infotainment display, and just because of how quick it is and how easily it works, I think it's a great setup in here. Now we also have a digital gauge cluster very similar to the Mazda. This one pretty much just gives you kind of what you're looking for as your pertinent information, whether that's a little bit of your safety stuff or what you're listening to. They keep it pretty focused on what's going on. As well, this one has a full 360 surround parking sensor. So when you kick it into reverse, both vehicles obviously have the full 360 backup camera, but it also shows you your parking sensors right here, similar to the Mazda. Now this one also gets a dual zone climate control, heated and ventilated seats. Both these seats are very close. These are also leather appointed. I'd say from a comfort standpoint, I'd love the little trail sport that's kind of stitched into the headrest here. That does look really good. This one also gets the heated steering wheel. So just right here at the bottom of the steering wheel with the Trail Sport logo. It's so hard to say which one I like better. Both give you kind of the same amount of information and feedback. You can obviously use the paddle shifters on here. It seems like the quality of leather in both vehicles is really nice, but that Napa leather might edge this out just a little bit. Now we also get a couple of USB-C ports down here, and I love the topography. So again, keeping with the outdoor theme, there's a cool kind of design that runs through on the door cards, onto the center console here, and then a few selectable drive modes, a little bit more intuitive on this vehicle. There's a little orange dial down here, kind of a knob. You can hear as you scroll through, you've got a ton of different modes you can go through all the way down to towing. So it is important to note both these vehicles do tow the same amount when properly equipped, which is a 5,000 pound max. So this particular one also gets a remote start on the key fob, where in the Mazda, you would run that through the app as their connected services. So it's kind of a win for the Passport there. Now this one also gets memory seats, they're power seats on both sides along with the lumbar, the Bose sound system, panoramic sunroof. Again, hear me out, it's a lot of similarities between these two vehicles, and it's a pretty close competition. Now this particular one, price-wise, it's about $46,000 to that $54,000 price range. Like I said, this is a range-topping model, so this particular one comes in at about $53,900. So in the Elite, you're getting all of the equipment. In the Premium Plus Mazda, you're pretty much getting all of the equipment. So I think it really boils down to, what are you doing with the vehicle? How are you using it? Which seat do you like? Do you like how easy it is to access the rear of both these vehicles? The second row is great. I mean, it's so close. It's even closer than I thought it would be when I started looking at both of these vehicles, but it's hard to pick a clear winner. I think the best thing to do is get out, get behind the wheel, get on the road. The Mazda drives a little bit more sporty and luxurious, where this one kind of feels a little bit more kind of day-to-day contemporary. Both powertrains are great. I love the automatic transmissions in both. They're seamless on the road, and the power delivery is pretty similar, but the Mazda is just a little bit quicker. So whether you value fuel economy or style, I think both of these are definitely vehicles to add to the list. Come out and get behind the wheel, take for a spin, and see what you think. Now that was just a quick look in comparison with the Honda Passport and the Mazda CX-70. Now if you have any other questions or you'd like to schedule a test drive, you can visit us online at walser.com or stop by anytime. We'd be more than happy to help. Thanks again for watching.